Good morning, and welcome to FAWKES News. We're back, baby, after a whole week of shenanigans, news, so much news overload, newsgasm, so much news. Where do we go from here? If we think about what happened in the last week in the media alone, it begs the question, where do we go from here? What could they possibly come up with next that would suck you in, that would even compare to what we have seen in the last week? Let's recap really quickly. We had an assassination in Minnesota. That is wild. We had immigration riots, which were pretty wild. We had sitting elected officials arrested for trying to aid and abet illegals. That's unprecedented. Didn't we have this crazy bombing going on in Iran by the U.S., but only after India offers up a Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump, followed by a ceasefire in Iran, between Iran and Israel. But what's going on in Ukraine? What's going on with Russia? It almost slips through the cracks, but Russia declared that a big majority of Ukraine is now Russia, and there's just nothing you're going to do about it. I do declare, he says. But it almost went silent. And don't forget, it also is Gay Pride Month. So where do we go after this? Does Santa Claus come out gay? Is Oprah Winfrey really a man? Are we going to have lizards and aliens raining down upon us next week? I don't know. But best believe FAWKS News will be here the whole entire time. Today's show is brought to you by factormeals.com/Wolfpack50. OFF. Factor75.com. Use the code Wolfpack50OFF for 50% off. We have a live chat today. Will Cray's in the live chat. Bone Cold Fleas Austin. Joni. Murr. Armory Knight. Tyler S. Everybody's loading in. We appreciate all you guys for being here. Today is going to be an absolute hoot. I have to take it easy. Been working on the audiobook with Piglet and a Seriously Funny True Story. And the guy who is producing it last week was producing for Neil deGrasse Tyson and William Shatner. And the guy who is directing the audiobook has like 4 Grammy Awards and did Lady Gaga's book and did Hillary Clinton's book and, about 1,000 other books for Simon Schuster. And I'm getting to work with them every single night for the next 2 or 3 weeks on my audiobook. And that has just been an absolute roller coaster. But they're begging me to just, I emceed a skate contest, a best trick contest this weekend. My voice got raspy. And when I was reading last night, they're like, look, we can't have you with a raspy voice. You got to tone it down. We got to save the vocal cords. So you got to not yell, not get excited, and save it. So I've got to save it for tonight. I got to save my exciting voice for tonight, which is hard because Beth and Greg from the One More and I'm Out of Here. The bar is open with Beth and Greg. The bar is open with Beth and Greg. Are in town this week, which has been really, really cool. And they made their rounds through Wilmington, and now they're up in Claytona Beach, Florida. So I'm going to spend the day with them, and I'm really, really excited to do that. So thank you guys. Thank you, Beth and Greg, for coming on down to Claytona Beach. We're excited to hang out with you guys this afternoon. And then, of course, we have 4th of July coming up. So hope everybody's ready for that. Josh, Deadleg Media, joining me today to talk about all this news. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm in it for the robot aliens.
Yeah?
That's what we were talking about beforehand. Like, we can just start our predictions for what's going to happen after this show when we recap what happened between last show and this show. Like, we were going to go to war. We didn't go to war. We were going to have a civil war. We didn't have a civil war. Then we had a bunch of assassinations. Then that kind of went away. And then now all of the immigration stuff, like Tom Harmon, Harmon is his name. He made some pretty cryptic statements the other day, and they were talking about, the reporters asked about sanctuary cities. He's like, wait do you see what we got coming up next? And it kind of like it lines with something that kind of become a national thing that's hit from here locally with ICE. It makes me think that there's gonna be some crazy stuff this after we're done. Like, we're gonna recap the craziness, and then it's gonna just get crazier.
It's funny that you bring that up and you mention it because I have been saying that I thought they blew the wad with the Summer of Love way too early. They went way too hard, way too early, and it didn't really have the effect that they wanted. So where do they go from there? It would either have to be extremely hyperbolic, like a hyperbolic scenario, like a scenario that you wouldn't really talk about, like that you couldn't really predict. It has to be something audacious. All I know is I wish that I was on the side of Hillary Clinton. I like Hillary Clinton's immigration policies. If we don't remember, if you've forgotten what Hillary Clinton's policies were on immigration, is this the immigration one or is this the Iran one?
This is immigration. This is
Let's see
like
what she says on immigration really fast.
like
Let's just
I'm all for it.
yeah.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone.
Oh.
If they,
I like her.
I'm
if
down
they've
with
been
that.
working and are law abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
Oh, you have to wait in line. Let's go. Really well presented. The crowd was behind her. Let's get that policy into office. Who is anybody else? Was there any other Democrats that are all for this?
That the best way to solve this problem
Oh, here we go.
is by working.
Okay, let's go back towards the beginning here. Move her.
Pass that kind of common sense law. But until that happens, there are actions I have the legal authority to take as president. The same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. Tonight, I'm announcing those actions. First, we'll build on our progress at the border with additional resources for our law enforcement personnel so that they can stem the flow of illegal crossings and speed the return of those who do cross over.
Oh, okay.
Second, I'll make it easier and faster for high-skilled immigrants, graduates, and entrepreneurs to stay and contribute to our economy, as so many business leaders have proposed. Third, we'll take steps to deal responsibly with the millions of undocumented immigrants who already live in our country. I want to say more about this third issue because it generates the most passion and controversy. Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous.
Okay.
That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%. And that's why we're going to keep focusing enforcement resources on actual threats to our security. Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids.
Wow.
We'll prioritize, just like law enforcement does every day. But even as we focus on deporting criminals, the fact is millions of immigrants in every state, of every race and nationality, still live here illegally. And let's be honest, tracking down, rounding up, and deporting millions of people isn't realistic. Anyone who suggests otherwise isn't being straight with you. It's also not who we are as Americans. After all, most of these immigrants have been here a long time. They work hard, often in tough, low-paying jobs. They support their families. They worship at our churches. Many of their kids are American-born or spent most of their lives here. And their hopes, dreams, and patriotism are just like ours. As my predecessor, President Bush, once put it, they are a part of American life.
Hey, you know what? I wish Donald Trump would say that. I wish Donald Trump would say he was going to deport illegal aliens who committed crimes and then he was going to reinforce the border. I wish Donald Trump would say that he was going to leave the, illegal aliens who weren't committing crimes alone and that we weren't just going to do. I wish he would have said something like that. Oh, wait.
Trump's blackface looked really good. he did really good Obama blackface. Because that was like,
did he plagiarize Obama's speech? Now I'm starting to question because I feel like President Trump's stance on immigration was eerily close to President Obama's stance on immigration. Did Trump just try to take a page out of Obama's playbook on this one?
It's exactly what we've been saying. Like, it's only okay if a Democrat says it. It's only okay if the policy comes up and it goes and it favors this. Because when you start bringing out these policies and you just ask this simple question, same thing that I asked, do we have a policy on immigration? Yes or no? And if it's yes, then we have to enforce this policy, period. Full stop. We're not going to selectively enforce this and that. And if you're going to go, but Josh, we have these you're right. We have a refugee policy and in our immigration policy. We have something to deal with that. What's the next thing that you're going to bring up? But they fear for, we have a thing in our immigration policy. If they fear for prosecute, like we have a thing in our immigration policy for, like, we have exceptions in our immigration policy to let people come across. We have exceptions. We have a policy. Either we have it or we don't. I have spent literally the last over a decade with my wife. She came here and she's an F1 visa holder. So when she was here, when we first met, there was a lot of restrictions on what she could and couldn't do. Then when we got married and going through the immigration policy and getting her citizenship, that's taken not like a couple dollars. That's taken enough money that we could buy a very nice used car. And we've paid that not once, but twice, because we've done that for my wife and we've done it now for my mother-in-law. So either all of that gets refunded and we're just going to open up the borders, or we need to start enforcing the laws. Enforcing it, it's very simple.
It's funny. There's a local in my hometown here, and he is an immigrant, a legal immigrant now. He's legal now, but he is on. He came over like basically on a special. I'm not exactly sure what his immigrant, like, I don't know that he has I think he has a driver's license now. No, I know he has a driver's license, but basically he was a foreign ally and they granted him access to America, and extremely right wing, very grateful guy. Well, got caught up in alcohol once he got to the United States, got caught into pornography, started going out to bars. Women were getting really drunk and he was taking them home and having sex with them while they were extremely drunk. And I explained to him, like, in America, we can't do that. You can't take a girl home. Well, now there have been some investigations diving into him being a raper. And this guy now, full-blown left wing, and is all about stop the deportation. And so a lot of people on the Democrat side are backing him up. They're like, exactly, look at you. You're here and you're beautiful and you're wonderful. And I'm going to go, he has 2 separate sexual assault allegations that I personally know of. And I've literally told him over the phone that if he continues to do this behavior, that we cannot be friends anymore. And then blocked me from social media because I told him we couldn't be friends anymore, because I had to try to explain to him that you cannot take people out to bars, get them hammered, and then take them out to your car, have sex with them, and then not give them your name and just walk away, laugh about it, and then call me and try to make it like it's some kind of something cool to do. I'm a married man with 5 kids. I don't support that kind of activity. I'm glad we're not friends anymore. But I think it's funny how so many people are like, yes, you're such a beautiful human. And could you imagine life in America without you? And you're the type of person that makes America great. And I just want to go like, oh my God, you guys, the only reason he's flipped on this whole scenario is because I think that they're probably threatening to take away his immigration status because of the crimes that he is alleged to have been committing. So I don't know, but I think it's funny how people will rally around, especially people from the left these days that are rallying around the people. And it's okay to ask questions. I'm not saying that. I think it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not want to back Bibi Netanyahu wholeheartedly. It's okay to not trust the CDC. You get what I'm saying? That's what I think is great, because when I didn't trust the CDC, I was accused of being an anti-vaxxer and I was labeled all these things. And the same people who didn't trust that did trust the CDC but don't trust Netanyahu are now being called anti-Semitic. And they're like, no, we're not anti-Semitic. We're not anti-Jew. We're not Jew-phobes. But you see how it feels, guys, on the left? You see how it feels when you put somebody, and we don't critical think, when we just put people into a box? You see how it feels? I was never been anti-vax. I'm anti-some vax. I'm also questioning the vaccination process. Let's figure out why autism is up 200 and something % in the last 20 years. I'm about asking the questions. I'm all for asking questions about Israel as well. Doesn't make me pro Hamas though. Some people just don't get it.
The other thing is they're creating they're perpetrating fear where that there is none. Like if I tell you, hey, you might want to look out for nails in your driveway, Eric. Like I'm going to put that in your head, and now every time you go out in your driveway, you're going to look at nails. So if you think, oh, I'm going to be deported, well, first of all, if you were here illegally, yes, you're going to get deported at some point because you crossed the border illegally. But if you come over here illegally and you really skirt under the radar and you work inside jobs and you're not like robbing your next door neighbor and you didn't steal a car and you're not raping kids and you're not murdering an old lady, like if you're not doing all that, you're pretty far down on the list of people that they want to deport. So in the first 50 days, I'm a numbers guy. First 50 days, 33,242. That's how many people were deported.
Wait, under the Trump administration?
Yep. In his first 50 days in the first 50 days, 14,111 of them were convicted criminals.
Okay. So half, 50% of them were convicted felons.
And then 9,980 of them had pending criminal charges. Okay. So we're going to go back to the
23 out of the 30, you're saying?
Yep. Yeah.
23 out of the 30 are convicted felons and or
have charges pending. So those with this group of people that we're talking about here.
Roughly 7,000 that we don't know if they are just family people or whatever, but 7,000 other illegal immigrants for whatever reason have been deported, probably just by getting kidnapped at the border.
Yep. But the mass majority here,
right? Mass majority
are criminals.
What was the people? How many deported? How many did Obama deport over his term?
He deported. Well, that depends on who you ask, Eric. If you ask USA Today says he was the deporter in chief and deported 3.1 million. Wow. But if you go to migrationpolicy.org, they tick up another 2 million to that. So it's 5.2 million, 5,281,115 deportations.
But that would be a lot more than 30,000 in 50 days to get to 3 million or 5 million. You'd have to step up your game, I think.
Hang on, my headphones are connected to my phone, and someone's trying to call me.
Let me go.
So I can't hear you. Give me a second.
That's okay. We'll move on from the immigration. We'll move on from the immigration policies. I muted you. When you're ready to come back, come on back. Are you there?
And we're back.
Okay.
The IT guy had problems.
I think at the end of the day, it's extremely laughable that people are making such a big deal. When we planned this, we knew this, that Nostradamus' prediction was that there was going to be immigration rights, and that was going to be their next big push, their next big thing. Not really working out for them. In fact, now we're having to take our eyes off of immigration and move it over to Iran. We still have a lot of people with their Ukrainian flags up. And then they're pro-Hamas Palestine flags up. And so now we've moved over into Iran. We'll see how that all works out. But on the heels of before the bomb was dropped, I think this is pretty funny. This is I'll read this from WCVB Boston News. I like to pick all the fun, quirky local news sites to pull our news from. And just to be fair and go across the board instead of just always using NBC, CNBC, even though that even like WCVB Boston is going to pull their articles straight from CNN anyway. But let's go ahead and read what they had to put out on June 22nd, 2025. Washington, Pakistan has formally recommended U.S. President Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, citing his decisive diplomatic intervention following a spike in violence between India and Pakistan earlier this year. The government praised Trump for leveraging his pivotal leadership in May, when several days of cross-border strikes marked the worst regional fighting between the two nuclear-armed nations since 1971, killing dozens and stoking fears of a wider war, Islamabad and New Delhi agreed to a U.S. brokered truce on May 8th as one final burst of strikes ripped through parts of long-disputed Kashmir region, to which both countries claim full sovereignty. A couple of things here is that one final burst of strikes right before the truce. Then you fast forward a week after they have nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. But you fast forward a week from this article, and Trump brokers a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, and what happens? A final burst of strikes ripped from both of them, prompting Donald Trump to say this in the news, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Now, the greater context of that, he said that these folks have been fighting for years, thousands of years, and they simply just don't know what the fuck they're doing because he brokers this ceasefire. Both sides go to agree. One side accidentally, quote unquote, launches rockets over into Israel, and Israel retaliates with one of their biggest barrages yet. But it seems to now have died back down. Again, now that we have this Pakistan nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize, the articles in today's news about the Nobel Peace Prize are Pakistan and India take a second look at the Nobel Peace Prize after Donald Trump bombs Iran, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, because the Democrats' heads were absolutely exploding when they found out that Pakistan was going to nominate Donald Trump. Now, I think this, I think the one quote that we have here from Pakistan is worth reading. This intervention stands as a testament to his role as a genuine peacemaker and his commitment to conflict resolution through dialogue. I've always thought that Donald Trump is a very great talker. He's a very good talker. And just because you don't like the way that he says things, and I think showing you the clips from Hillary Clinton and Obama really do prove it's not what you say, it's how you say it or how the media tells everybody. He said, oftentimes I will ask my Democrat leftist friends when they like to bring up that he's so goddamn hateful. I said, well, tell me what he said that's hateful. Give me an example. And they're always like, I mean, what? I mean, there's too many to even say. It reminds me of Ryan from The Office, when he talks about the famous musician dying and he's always so sad. Like, name one time, he's like, Tears of My Glory. And they're like, yeah, you said that. What are some other songs? And he's like, I mean, Tears of My Glory. I mean, what songs didn't he write? Like, he doesn't really know because he is just virtue signaling, which I think is funny from The Office because it's telling to today's times. I have a
question though with this. Like, I'm not supporting bombing. I'm not supporting the airstrikes from us. I'm not supporting anything. But I'm just going to ask this question. What would the headline be if Trump comes out and he cured cancer? Trump defunds Pfizer, puts millions out of work. Is there nothing that this guy can do? Okay, we can criticize where criticism is due. But we'll question where we need to question. But at some point, you do realize that you're just
you brought that up because after he dropped 14 30,000-pound Moab bombs, destroying, Fordow, Isfahan, and what was it, Natanz, the nuclear sites in Pakistan, complete obliteration. One of the most incredible aerial maneuvers in military history. I mean, how many planes were involved in that? It was, I don't even know how many aircraft because they had
6 U-2 bombers.
Involved.
Oh yeah, there was they had 6 U-2 bombers.
They had decoys. They had decoy bombers that went out. I mean, very well coordinated. 32-hour flight out, refueling in the air, putting 14 30,000-pound Moab precision bombs right in the heart of their nuclear development. And then what does the mainstream media come out and say? Well, let's just go ahead and read it. We'll say this is coming from Al Jazeera. Just for funsies, but the United States strikes on 3 key Iranian nuclear sites on Sunday, failed to destroy underground facilities, and set Tehran's nuclear program back only a few months, according to an assessment of a confidential American intelligence report. Who's releasing the confidential American intelligence reports, and should they be jailed or tried for treason? Remember when Project Veritas brought a diary, legally bought a diary, and their media news work, their news site was taken down completely, and the woman who legally sold it to them was then arrested and charged.
Well, 51, remember the 51 Intel experts from the Intel community that were for sure that the Hunter Biden laptop that we know now was 100% without a question true and factual. That was a Russian disinformation plant.
Right. The
That
top secret document, quote unquote, prepared by the Defense Intelligence Agency, the intelligence arm of the Pentagon, and published by major U.S. news outlets on Tuesday, is at odds with President Donald Trump's claims about the strikes. Trump has insisted that the nuclear facilities at Fordow, Nance, and Isfahan were obliterated by a combination of bunker busting and conventional bombs. Trump's administration senior officials are dismissing the intelligence report and calling out the reporting over the DIA's assessment as fake news. Speaking at a NATO summit in the the U.S. president said he believed Iran's nuclear program was set back by decades. So what did the DIA assessment say about U.S. strikes? What has Iran said about the strikes? And how does the intelligence report contrast with Trump's administration's public claims? Well, the DIA report says a preliminary report prepared by the DIA noted that rather than obliterating Iran's nuclear program, the U.S. bombing had only set it back a few months. Before Israel attacked Iran on June 13th, U.S. agencies had noted that if Iran rushed to assemble a nuclear weapon, it would take about 3 months. The DIA's 5-year report now estimates that this to be delayed by less than 6 months, reported the New York Times. So here's what I have to say about this. So now you're telling me the same news, Al Jazeera, CNN, NBC, the same news that told us that there's no way they can make a nuclear bomb. They weren't close to making a nuclear bomb. We should be pro-Iran. This is Israel, false flag. All the talking heads, all your favorite Republican conservative talking heads, all saying, right? They're all telling you, false flag, this is Israel's, this is Bibi Netanyahu, this is yada yada. You know, they don't have the capabilities of building nuclear bombs. Now that we've blown up their sites, not only were they days away from being able to make a nuclear weapon, but this airstrike has only set them out about 6 months for making a nuclear weapon. So which way, what is it, guys? What is it? Also, the reports are that they moved, and this is from CNN, is that Trump didn't really attack, that it weren't successful because the trucks moved all their nuclear, their nuclear material to secret nuclear sites outside of the ones that were bombed. Well, let me ask you this. If Iran is playing by the rules and they don't have the capability of making weapon grade nuclear weapons, and that their nuclear program is for civilian use, why do they have a secret nuclear facility outside the ones that are supposed to be up for you in inspection? If you're on the up and up, why do you have a secret nuclear site that you can flee to? So which way is it, guys? Is it they are 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months from making a nuclear weapon? Or are this is bombing Iran on behalf of Israel, and that they were never really capable of producing weapon grade nuclear bombs? Which one is it?
Well, let's assume that they are right now start construction on their replacement for these facilities. All right. So we're not building just a regular nuclear facility. These are facilities that are built inside of mountains. So it takes X amount of time to build this on just regular dirt. Now you have to excavate everything out of the mountain. Like, that's going to take more than 3 months. Ask Elon. He's trying to build tunnels here in the United States. Building tunnels and building stuff underneath ground takes time. Yes, it's going to set them back. But you can't have it both ways. You can't have it. They're not close at all. Oh, we bombed them and magically now they're closer.
Right.
Like,
Isn't
like
it wild. It's and how do you sit there and listen? It's not just Democrats here. I mean, I've seen people from the right because, and arguably, and I get it. I think we should question Israel. I think we should question everyone. I think we should question everything. That we should never allow people to just tell us things and then take it on a grain of salt, especially people who have interest with stock options and with, private militias, not militias, but mercenaries and they hold stock in these programs. I get it, guys. We should definitely not trust anyone, but you can't talk about what you don't know, and you can't talk about it just from what the talking heads say, because if you do, now you're in the same contradictory wheel of doom, this Bermuda Triangle of nitpicky information. And what do I mean by nitpicky information? I mean just what I just told you. You guys are arguing, some folks were arguing that Iran was not anywhere close to having nuclear armament. And those same people are now telling you that were only set back 6 months from having weaponized nuclear missiles. So now you're telling. Also, we have the same Obama and Hillary Clinton in the 1998 and the early 2000s saying that if Iran doesn't want to play ball with the rest of the Middle East, if they keep chanting, if they keep doing this death to America, death to the West, death to Israel, death to everything that's not under their extreme totalitarian religious rule and law, we will fuck them up. And then we signed the deal that we talked about last week. We signed the deal in 2015, giving them all the opportunities, giving them every opportunity to be nefarious. It's like if you go to a blood gang member who is a convicted felon and they said, you're a convicted felon, you can no longer own a firearm, you cannot have any gang affiliation, your post bond or your post jail release or whatever, all your conditions of release. Can't have a firearm, can't be in the same household as a firearm. You can't be around people who have firearms. You cannot be around gang members. And also, we can come and inspect your living quarters where you're living as you're on post-release. We can come in there with warrantless searches. You also can be, anytime you're pulled over, the cops can warrantlessly search you and pat you down because we're letting you out of jail early. And then going to that same felon and saying, you know what? Your post-bond releases, you can't have a gun, but you can be in the same house that there is a gun, and you can hang out with gang members if you want to. Just, and then also we're going to inspect your house, but we'll give you a 24-hour notice. Well, that's exactly what Hillary Clinton did with this 2015 Iran deal. She said, oh, guess what? We're going to remove all of our sanctions so people can buy oil from you now and make money. So you're going to get wealthy. We're also not going to, we're going to allow you to have uranium, and we're going to let you create centrifuges. And also we're going to allow you the opportunity to do your own inspections, and we're going to give you 24-hour notice. I mean, it's like everything she did was like, if you want to fuck up, here's all the ingredients to fuck up.
Well, and then here's the other thing. We just spent 2 decades in Iraq and Afghanistan. I always, and I back in my mind, always thought that there was a big play there. The reason why we haven't completely pulled out of either one of those countries is, I don't know if you guys know where the globe is. They're pretty damn close to Iran. Iraq literally butts up against it on the one side. So we have all of this 20 years of buildup of equipment and logistics over there, but then we just leave it all to Afghanistan. So I was like, well, what are we doing now? Now we're gonna have to build it all back up again, because for 20 years, we have had all of that stuff on their doorstep of like, hey, don't screw up. But then think about this. If you want to take that same Hillary Clinton policy and apply it to a police department, hey, you can look at you have to have body cameras, but you're not going to release them to the public. You have to review them, but nobody else has to. No outside agency. So you can review your own cameras and determine if you were within policy and procedure or not. And then you don't have to release that to the public. And then you're good. That's basically what she was doing with Iran.
Yeah.
Like everyone would go, that's fucking stupid. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, to quote somebody from the last 24 hours. It's like, you can't do that. And then all of a sudden go, oh, they have the ability. They don't have the ability. And then people are questioning whether we have the ability to drop, to do these strikes. So were we at war with Syria? Have we ever been at war with Syria, Eric?
I mean, a proxy war.
But we've never been officially at war, right?
No, but we've had troops in Syria, and we've taken out mercenary groups in Syria, which Russia would have claimed was an act of war. I mean, I guess for all intents and purposes, no, technically no. But have we been doing a lot of operations in and around Syria? Of course.
So we could apply the same for Iran. But if we drop 12,192 bombs on them, do you think that would make news?
Yeah.
Because that's what Obama dropped on them. Obama dropped 12,192 on Syria, 12,095 on Iraq, which we were at war with. Afghanistan got 1,300, which we were at war with. Libya got 496. Yemen got 35. Somalia 14. And Pakistani rounded out the strikes here. They got 3. So it's okay when a Democrat does the strikes, but it's not okay when a Republican does the strike.
It's just not okay when Donald Trump does the strikes.
Yeah.
I want to jump gears over there. We're going to keep following this ceasefire, which obviously would be another huge win for Donald Trump if this ceasefire goes through and putting into what he calls a 12-year war. We'll have to wait and see how it plans out. I am guessing that now that we have a ceasefire, we can begin the riots again. And we can finish off with the immigration rights. We'll see. I want to talk about this Walz accused in allegations. In the alleged Bolter letter, which was the assassination letter, again, being leaked. Why are all these leaks happening? Who's leaking shit? I think that's a bigger problem. I think that's a huge problem. If everything that we do, we have a leak, we have moles, we have rats everywhere leaking top secret information and releasing bits of it, or are we just making that up? Are we just saying I have an anonymous source and I'm making it up just to spend some kind of narrative to get you thinking that something else is, which is kind of what I think is going on with this Walz thing. I don't think it's very real at all. I'd say shame on any news agency that reports it as such, because I think, one, they're just trying to be hyperbolic, but two, they are trying to feed what they claim is the most dangerous thing, which is fake information. But here we go. Media sites putting out this fake information to rile you up so that they can make more money off of this incredibly sad assassination attempt. And I want to talk about it. But first, I got to talk about factormeals.com. July 4th is only a week away. Is that it? About a week away? 2 weeks?
Yeah. 2 weeks.
2 weeks away?
2 weeks. No, next week. Next Friday.
Yeah, that's what I said. Next week. Yeah. So you guys got 7 days to get your sasses in shape before you start throwing glizzies down the gullet. Or you live shamelessly now. Stay with me. Live shamelessly now. Go all in on 4th of July. Be fat. And then start your Factor Meal program right after July 4th. It's a little late to get lean and mean for July 4th so you can feel your best, but it's not too late after July 4th. So start now. Go to factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50 off, 50% off for plus free. That gives you 50% off your order plus free shipping on your first week's orders. And you can go ahead and start your meal planning today, whether you want to do calorie conscious, protein heavy, whatever it is that you want to do. They have a meal just for you. You don't have time to be going to the grocery store, going to do all these things. Meal prepping, meal planning. You could be outside playing in the pool, playing badminton, playing pickleball, doing all the things that you really want to do on your day off. Day offs are important, and you want to spend those with your loved ones and doing the things that you frankly really enjoy doing, not things that you have to do. Factor Meals is a great way to get meal planning and meal prepping. They deliver these fresh, never frozen, chef-prepared meals right to your door, 2 minutes or less in the microwave. You can do protein heavy, calorie conscious. You can do keto friendly. They also have all the snacks and accoutrements to go with the meals. So you can do your breakfast shakes and you can do all the different snackies and desserties that you want to do. Head over to factormeals.com/Wolfpack50OFF. That's factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Head over to factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50OFF, and start your meal planning today. All right. I want to go over to Yahoo News really quick. Walz accused in alleged Bolter letter. A shocking claim has surfaced in the fallout of last week's political assassinations in Minnesota. An alleged letter from the murder suspect Vance Bolter reportedly accuses Governor Tim Walz of ordering the assassination of U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. According to multiple reports, Bolter allegedly sent the letter to the FBI prior to the June 14th attack that left Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband dead, and State Senator John Hoffman and his wife hospitalized. In the letter, Bolter supposedly claimed Walz directed him to kill Klobuchar so the governor could take her U.S. Senate seat. I think it's important to know that I don't think Walz was ever running for a U.S. Senate seat, so we could have probably started the article there. The claim has circulated across media outlets and social media platforms in recent days. Fox News host Jesse Walters discussed the alleged letter on his show, citing unnamed sources familiar with the case. The Hindustan Times reported that two individuals disclosed the letter's content to the Star Tribune, but officials say there is no evidence supporting the explosive accusations. A spokesperson for the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, Daniel Borgater Popping, told the Star Tribune, "Due to the seriousness of the allegations it contains, we will state only that we have seen no evidence that the allegations regarding Governor Walz are based in fact." So the reason why I chose to read it from the Yahoo News is because the Yahoo News actually goes into this as saying that it's wildly misinformation. So I don't know why Fox News put it. I don't know why anybody's putting this kind of media out there. One, how do you put out such an audacious allegation with having zero references and zero receipts to back it up? Because I could say that anybody alleged anything. If I'm a police officer and I have a piece of evidence, I would take this evidence, I fold it up, I put it in an envelope, and I take it down to evidence, and I put it into evidence. And there is a chain of custody, and there it sits. And nobody, except maybe a judge, can go there and pull it out. If he does pull it out, it is written down that he pulled it out and when he pulled it out. So you would know through a records check, a very simple records check, the Information Act, what is it? The Freedom of Information Act. You would see that document and you would know who signed out the paper. You would know who leaked the letter. That letter didn't get leaked.
Well, here's what's funny. Our last story, it's not alleged. It's factual that Iran has more secret nuclear bases because someone leaked information there. So when they leaked information there and it supports the story, we're not even going to go. We're going to throw it. But if you go back and read the beginning of your thing, you've got an alleged. It's like they put these words out there to make you start putting doubt. Like, no, you just start reporting the facts. Either this letter exists or it doesn't. Either this leak person gave you this or it doesn't. Because you're going to get this information, but you're going to try to discredit it in the same article if it doesn't support a narrative. Like, once you start
brings up a great point. He says, "Isn't it funny that the manifesto was released in this shooting and not the Trump shooter wasn't?" Yeah, it's like who's leaking what and when do they choose to leak it? And I just frankly I don't believe it at all. I think they want you to believe. I think if on the right they want you to put out that this psycho assassination guy was a Democrat, and they want the Democrats to believe that he was a conservative. When really I don't think anybody really knows what he was or who he was. It's all speculation from here. At the end of the day, this was a sad day in history, and that there are people who are too invested in the news. There are people who are too invested in conspiracy theories. They can't have fun. This is why we can't have nice things. And they go out and they start killing people. I had a current close friend, Ryan Abedisian. You can look him up. But he was convinced that Hillary Clinton was a part of things and that his roommate was sent to kill him on her behalf. And so he murdered his roommate at a group home that he was living at. Even though I tried to talk him down, it happened. I've talked about it on the show many times. I told the whole story. There are just people who can't compartmentalize what is real and what is not. And they pick one trail of the rabbit hole and they just keep going. And they never really take a minute to go down the other paths to see where those lead as well. And that's what's important. And when you're putting out the news, and I think that the news in today's world is grossly negligent and profiting off of us hating each other and fighting each other and wanting to kill each other. I think this is also something that's extremely that I wanted to bring up that I was talking about earlier was let me get to it really quick here. I think I accidentally deleted my tab. I apologize. Give me one moment.
Well, I guess I'm not the only one with issues today.
You did. My session expired, actually.
Oh,
Yeah. But where I wanted to go with it was the blood gang members. So when we have these, with the Tim Walz assassination, a lot of the articles, maybe you can bring it up while I'm talking about it, since my session expired here, was that he was a prepper, alleged doomsday prepper. Several articles coming out as if being a doomsday prepper means you're guilty of anything. I'm not sure what qualifies you or disqualifies you for being a doomsday prepper. I mean, I collect ammunition and survival gear. Does it make me a prepper? Somebody who is ready for the end times, does that make me a prepper? And if I am a prepper, does that mean that I am some kind of, far right wing? Matter of fact, I think this is hilarious because I drink raw milk. I home birth my children, 5 children, who I homeschool, who I use homeopathic remedies to cure them. Very little doctor intervention. Loose, very strict on our vaccines and what we do not get. My kids have very few vaccines. Some of my kids have 0 vaccines. I don't believe in the goop in the eye for gonorrhea and all these things that they do right when you're birth. I don't believe in the entire birthing process as we know it in the hospitals. I think it's very bad for children. Well, 25 years ago, I would have been seen as an extreme left wing, a far left wing hippie liberal. That is a far left wing liberal way to approach life. Matter of fact, one of the midwives that illegally does home births with the white hair, homeopathic remedies, when COVID came around, she said, we really do need to be wearing masks, and I need to see the vaccine schedules, and it's important that all of us involved in the birthing of your child were all vaccinated according to the CDC. I said, hold on. You do home births because you believe the same things that we believe, that we don't like what the hospitals do. We have the same philosophies on the goop that they put in children's eyes at a very early age. We have the same ideologies on vaccinating kids with cocktails. I've had these talks with you, but now because Biden's telling you to get because she's far left wing, right? Like all the things that I do are left wing, but not in 2025. Now I'm seen as a far right wing extremist. Isn't that weird how it flip-flops? But my point is is that they're accusing this guy of being a prepper. And all the headlines, can you just show up a Google search on this and show all the headlines about this guy being a prepper this week? So many articles from everybody, CNN, NBC, CNN. I just like to show the receipts. That I'm not just making this up. I'm not just saying that they do it. Well, here you go. Read off those for me.
Suspected Minnesota assassin was a prepper. MAGA told prepper wife. That was a different one. Devout Christian who failed envisions. That's the same one. Vance's Volter White was preppers. All preppers.
Right. Big Christian prepper. Lots of labels, right? Why don't we label blood gang members? Why don't we label guys on trains that get choked out? Why don't we label their affiliations with gangs? Why when there's a mass shooting, it doesn't get reported as a mass shooting? Why do we not come right out and say the shooters were suspected blood gang members, suspected Crip members? Why don't we put that out there? But we'll put out Christian, prepper, Democrat, Republican. But why do gang members get a pass in 2025?
Because it's racist.
When's the last time you heard if the leading killer, look it up, according to the CDC, the leading killer of black males between 18 and 25 is black on black shootings, gun-related violence. A majority of that black on black crime is at the hands of gang members. So if that's the number one killer and Black lives really matter, why do we always label people with Christianity and prepper and all these things that don't really kill people? Maybe far and few between, like in this case, but Bloods and Crips who kill people every single day in this country, nobody gets labeled as a Blood or a Crip.
Racist. You can't talk about that, Eric. That's why.
The math is racist, Eric. Somebody says in the chats.
Like, it's crazy that this guy attempted to assassinate two. Like, it's not just that he assassinated people. This is two separate shooting incidents, not one, but two. Mm-hmm. And then he gets in a shootout with police and then flees from there and then has a list of people on it that are prominently Democrats. Like, if the problem is we have the media has to have a narrative. They have to follow. They get their marching orders. They get, hey, we can't lead into this. We don't bring up Hillary's past. Don't bring up Obama's. Let's not quote him. Let's not bring him up and quote him exactly what he's saying about getting rid of the criminals and stuff. Let's not follow the facts, because if you follow some factual information, like I was furious beforehand, furiously trying to find this list that apparently has been leaked. There's 70 people on this list. Who's on the list? How do you know there's 70? Who counted it? I'd like to see it. Why can't we see it? Because I would like to be able to formulate myself and be like, oh, look, this is the evidence. This is what it was. This isn't some crazy right-wing nut.
Trust us. We know somebody that's seen the list. Trust us, Josh. Trust us. The list was leaked. We can't tell you how or by who. And then our friends saw the leaked list, and they are credible sources, and they have told us this. So obviously there's something to it. Let's report on it and get everybody.
We're gonna get the other manifesto from Audrey Hale from the trans.
No, that one hasn't been leaked yet. That one hasn't been leaked yet. We don't have sources that have seen that one.
And then we know everything about the Trump assassination attempt.
No, neither one of them. Not either one of them. So that hasn't been leaked yet. Our sources haven't seen that yet.
Do you guys see the problem? Is the picture not clear enough?
What about the Las Vegas shooter? Have we seen that manifesto? Is that one been leaked yet?
Yeah, like, has the math for that come out yet to explain how math works with firing rounds and reloading?
Remember, guys, Iran did not have nuclear capabilities. But now that we've done the bombing, they're only within 3 to 6 months of having nuclear capabilities. Just keep that in mind as you watch the news for the rest of the week. I can't wait to see what happens the rest of this week. It's going to be off the walls. We are going to be a little bit slower this week because I am working on the audiobook. Guys, listen, if you haven't pre-ordered the book right now, head over to Amazon right now. Just do it and pre-order my book, Pig Latin, A Seriously Funny True Story. Order it today. The hard copy comes out August 26th. There is some huge news coming down the pipeline, and I promise you are going to want to say in about 6 months, you're going to be like, yo, I was on the pre-order list for this fucking book. Like, I pre-ordered this book, and show them the screenshot on your phone. Like, I knew it was going to be a big deal. I'm telling you right now to trust you. I would not say this. I wouldn't rest my whole rest of my life and reputation on telling you that something fantastic has already happened with the book that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. But I promise you, you want to be in on the ground floor on this, just because you can always say that it was cool and you knew me when. So if you have not pre-ordered Pig Latin, I encourage you to do it today. I can actually see the updates on my phone, and I can see how well my ad reads work. So if you have not ordered the book, I encourage you to please go and pre-order the book. Check out our new podcast, Santana True Crime and Alley in the Archives, as we rebuild the Failure to Stop podcast channel and a whole for law enforcement. A lot coming down this summer from that. In Failure to Stop's podcast on last Friday, Mandatory Fun Day was there. It was really fun. It was really cool. So there's a lot of things happening with Failure to Stop. And so we're going to keep chugging along with FAWKES News, but please share the show. Give us a 5-star rating review. That is free. Maybe you don't have $27 to pre-order my book on Amazon. That's okay. I don't hate you for that. But you can go and give me a 5-star rating or review on Spotify or Amazon. On Apple Podcasts for this particular podcast, FAWKES. You can also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, from myself and Josh and Ted Like Media, I'm headed to the pool with The Bar Is Open with Beth and Greg. So today at the pool, the bar will be open with Beth and Greg, and we are going to sit by the pool all day today. And then we're going to have a really great time. So if you haven't followed The Bar Is Open with Beth and Greg podcast, I encourage you to do so. I will be probably doing some Instagrammies and stuff with them all day today. So until then, guys, maybe you didn't know. G.I. Joe said it the best. Maybe you didn't know about the nomination from Pakistan. for the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe you didn't know about a very fragile ceasefire that we have going on in Iran. Maybe you didn't know about the Walz assassination fake letter. But now you do know, and knowing is half the battle. Take us out of here, Joshua.
See ya.